Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
And we get the back view of him, and I mean, it's just a mega.
52 yards is a long shot. Magnum PI, what we named him. No idea.
Just a magnum.
Yeah, just a magnum.
Come on, Cam last year, we said probably 150, mid 150.
Yeah.
Same doe from the morning come out with that 9-pointer.
Here steps out this 90-inch 8-pointer. You're like,
I'm like, okay, well, there's still a buck back there grunting.
Yeah.
And then out steps like another 90-inch 8-pointer. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like, deer, right there.
Yeah, like
and he's already
yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
He was literally 5 yards from the base of the tree. Could have been, had a buck down at 1:40 in the afternoon, back there deep on public. 3 does come out pretty early. It was like 245, 24-yard shot, sent the combat veteran, and I tell you what, man, dude, it just smoked. We always get so jacked up when the other person kills. It's just almost like we got it done.
Yeah. And when you killed that doe, I was like, hell yeah, man.
And we come down here to Missouri.
I asked Comey one more time. I'm like, is it a good buck? And he goes, yeah, real good, solid buck. I'm like, all right, boom. And the deer just drops. Sure. Super special to me.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy. Baller Rut.
Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast, coming in your ear holes. And homie, what do we got?
We got big bucks on camp.
That's the third year in a row we've been able to say that.
Yeah.
We got smaller bucks on cam than we ever have. We don't have like a giant this year, like a Mac Daddy 175, 180 class crazy whitetail. But it's kind of cool that we don't, because our mind's set on like, we have a lot of options of solid, 150 class deer instead of one giant that's kind of deterring us away from that.
Right.
But we're gonna talk about how we're gonna kill 2 bucks in October, what our game plan is, and we're pretty confident that we can get it done. At least kill 1 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the most confident in October than I ever have been, and I've killed a couple bucks in October. So it's still 8 days out from season, and some stuff could still change, definitely. But it's
damn, bro, we're single
here.
digits.
Yeah, it's here. So we're getting the people to make this possible. Get into the show. You got.
Okay, Last Breath. The YouTube channel is about to start popping off here. They've got videos lined up. We got actual season videos rolling out, full-length hunt films. We got Last Breath Lives. We got video podcasts from the Last Breath side of their Huntcast, and of course the WLP side from us going on there. So what we got coming down the chute for the season and this series that we're going to get into, it'll all be on there, and you guys will be able to watch it there. So be sure to head over there and give them guys a like and a subscribe to follow along this year.
Yeah, and make sure if you guys are interested in that Badlands code with Last Breath, reach out to us. We've been getting a ton of messages about that.
TikTok's on fire with the Badlands.
Yeah, I know. Did you mention it on there?
No, nope. Haven't said anything. Just posted 2 videos wearing it, and I've got probably 7 or 8 messages. A couple handfuls of people asking, "What in the hell are you wearing?" And I want to get some of that. So. They message us, and of course we obliged. And
it's crazy that people don't know about it. It must not be very big down south or anything like that. I don't know, but yeah. So let's what else we got going? We got Exodus. You have a trail cam tip of the week? Nice, prepared.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah. I was just getting into my truck when I got in tonight from work, and I have their sticker on my back window, and it says, "Life's a passion, pursue it." And like, as we get into the season and get ready to go out and hunt, even on the slow days, or, if we have a hot rut like we did last year, don't forget that like hunting is your passion. It's something that you care deeply about, you really enjoy, you like getting out there with your buddies, your friends, and all summer you've been showing off the velvet picks and stuff. So just remember to go out there and have fun this year. and it's a passion that we all thrive to make better each year and have fun. So that just kind of hit me when I seen it, and just kind of brought me back to remind me about what we're about to do this year.
Nice. And shout out to Chad, just did an epic, absolutely brutal elk hunt out there, just pounding away. And if you're listening to this, the Dan Infault Whitetail Cribs is out on their YouTube channel. If you guys want to check that out, that's going to be super, super awesome. I'm excited to watch that. You get to see the pictures, but you don't get to go through kind of, individual and see them up close and listen to the stories. So excited about that. I'll hit you with the black rifle. Use code Whitetail Legacy, save you 20%. A lot of people have been using that, reaching out to us. We appreciate everybody that's been doing that. What else we got? That it?
That's it, bud.
All right.
Ready to talk about these big bucks on cam.
Yeah. How are we going to kill 2 bucks in October? So homie's he's going to go first rip probably as of right now. Without going into a ton of detail, kind of describe how, I found this buck in this area, and then we found this spot, and it kind of came together, and then talk about how you're going to approach it.
So I meant to ask you, because I was thinking about this the last couple of nights, actually. I don't know did you actually see this deer crossing the road at one point in time?
Yeah, I seen
year?
I seen him in the beans, yeah.
Okay.
I seen him in the beans and then moved the camera, and I kept moving it closer to that timber because I figured that's where he was at, but I wasn't sure if he's bedding on that kind of south edge along that ridge that's all the way to the south, or if he's bedding up north up there on that green food source. I knew he was on that side, and he never went south of there on cam, and we never had him across the road on the other piece. So I knew he was kind of living right in there. But yeah, I actually seen that deer in the beans and velvet, and then went in there and tried to run him down.
So how we, just like Cody said there, I'll just kind of back up a little bit farther, how we got onto this particular buck. His name is Pickles. We mentioned him a couple times last year, and just like Cody said way at the beginning of this episode, that a Supergiant Magnum gets us distracted off of really solid deer. And most of the times, probably more killable deer. And we had just picked up a new lease last year, and Cody was out doing a drive-by, happened to see this buck, and that got our attention, at least in that area, is how we got on him. And then, like Cody said, there was already a scrape opened up by the time we had really started getting over there. And Cody put the cam there, got him a few times. We looked at it, got the direction he was coming from, and then we did the bread trail thing, got back into him. We're like, okay, now we're like, we've got him at this scrape at night. Where is he bedding on the direction that he's coming from the camera? And I mean, there's a little bit of option there. At that moment in time, we think he was just living in the corn across the road. And then as season came in and the corn went away, we knew that he had to be to the west of there if he was going to be somewhat close. And the time that he was there on the camera,
we actually put a set in on him during our rutcation on the south of his home range there. I was watching that the other day, and you go, yeah, we're going in on Pickles, and I forgot that we went up there and hunted.
Yeah, we did.
Where we had that water pinch.
Yep.
On kind of the south end of his range, but I don't know if he crosses that public road or not. I'm not 100% sure. But.
Yeah, I'm not either. And this is a buck that we don't have a lot of resources thrown at, but we feel very confident in what he's doing because the intel or the resources that we do have are absolutely perfect. And when we did go in there and hunt last year, we seen one deer. We routed in a deer, and then I think we hunted there the next morning, or I hunted in, and then you came in and joined me or something. But we had scouted that early. We had cams in there in October, and then we hunted there in the rut. And at that rut hunt, we went in there and scouted the rest of the piece to see how it had opened up or changed, or if more signs showed up, or to see if there was deer even still bedding there. And the sign looked really good. We left the cameras there to run, and we got some more intel. And we kind of just took that same approach of what it's going to be like when season rolls around, when we hung the cameras in the summer time frame. I don't know if you guys might have picked up on this 2 or 3 episodes ago, but we talked about hanging cameras, and it looked absolutely atrocious in there. It didn't look anything like it did in late October. It didn't look anything like it did in early November. In July or in August when we were hanging cams, we're just like, it just looks completely different. And we hadn't really been in that area during the summertime, so we didn't really know what it was going to look like going in there, but we know what it's going to look like come money time. So we're just
and I had mentioned that we had literally no deer on that camera, like hardly any. And then he showed up in Velvet not long after I mentioned that. And then now it was 9 days straight. He's been there and shooting like killable hours. If our season opened up the 15th, been dead deer, but us being October 1st, we're still just hoping that he's hanging on the edge. But we had mentioned this, like when we said that this spot we knew it wasn't going to be any good in the summer. There's no deer there. We were strictly going in there on that buck bed that we found. We knew something was used in early October and throughout the late part of October. So we wanted to get in there early and not go back in there. We haven't been in there, and no one's been in there as far as I know, because we got the 2 main entrance and exits of that bedding area covered with mobile cams, and no one's been in there.
So this is a spot that I had talked about definitely wanting to be in, like a October lull or through the 25th of October if we get a really good cold front, a spot that I looked forward to hunting just because of the activity we had last year. And lo and behold, now here we are, we're game planning for a blast off hunt come October 1 if the buck's going to be doing what he's doing now, just because lo and behold, like if we get the wind right and stuff. But right now the temperatures look good for a early throw at this buck. And I will say, I don't think I've had a buck on cam that consistent ever. And probably Sunshine was the only other deer that was remotely close. Yeah, I think he only did like 6 or 7 days.
Yeah, straight. But I think I had him 15 days total before season in September. And this one's on like 9 days straight, but I think I've got him there like 12 or 15 days, sometimes in the morning. But he's always on the same trail.
Yeah, like
he really likes that trail.
Just before we started
recording,
recording,
the trail cam pictures look exactly the same.
No, I was like, you sent me one here 2 or 3 nights ago. I was like, okay, this is the same picture, and then I look at the date. Oh no, it's the 18th. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
like he made
photoshopped
it.
Photoshopping the dates, getting you jacked up.
Yeah, photoshopping the timestamp on him. But as far as like having a deer, a mature buck, and having him really, really pinned down and being able to have as much confidence as we're probably going to have come around the opener is kind of mind-blowing to me right now. So something very excited about.
Yeah, we went in there. There was kind of a rub line, and we followed that rub line out. And there's an option to go left and an option to go right. And we had a cam on the option to go right. We had some bucks in there late October because we had hung that cam probably the 15th or something like that. 16th
of October. Yeah. Of October. Yeah.
Of October. Now we got one in there, and the south cam hasn't been very good, but there's not a lot of bucks cruising in there yet. But we knew that there's a deer that was used in this bedding area a lot. Like, it's a perfect setup, backside of water, really hard to access without bumping this deer. It's set up perfect, and that washout that happened added another edge to where he's kind of got to go around that washout now to come to that trail. And that's why I think he's consistently on that trail, because he has to go around that washout. And when we went in there in October, we scouted that. We said, okay, there's something in this bed. it's going to have to go around this washout. So we know we're going to be able to get him right here. And like I said, when I hung that camera, I'm looking at a bush. Like I got like 10 feet and a bush. So they have to be right there. You're not getting them on that cam. So
it was not a bush cam.
So yeah. So how are you going to go about hunting this deer? And what scenario are you looking for to go in and kill him?
So last year we had kind of hunted at the north end of the trailhead there. There was 2 scrapes there that really active. I think we were on the back end of that time frame. And, but if we were there the week before, I think we would have had a little better chance of actually, killing something, solid. So we're actually going to, move around and get on the west side of the trail and, still be about as north as we are, but still just get west of there, because that's the way he's coming. And entry and exit for the wind that we're going to hunt there is you're going to need something. Well, it's going to have to be either straight west or northwest. Southwest, if he somehow skates out and behind you, I mean, you got a chance of him winding you. So going to look for a west or a northwest. We're going to be on the east side of the trail. And hopefully, has any deer been hitting them scrapes? Are them scrapes opened up yet? Okay. I know we kind of tried to start one there, and obviously you're just sitting.
I think you need to go in there when you hunt. I think you need to tie a tree branch hanging down.
Yeah.
Get a good looking branch there.
Yeah, I was going to say the tree that we had the scrapes on last year, the branch was broke when we noticed that when we hung the camera. So, I mean, there was obviously a little extra activity after we had left there that carried on. Mm-hmm. So we'll take care of that on the first hunt we go in there. But hopefully he just comes on this trail and, it's a nice 20-yard shot. We can kind of see the tree that we might sit in on the trail cam picture when he's cruising by there. So we haven't really been in there and picked out a tree on that side. That's something I wish we would have done, but we were just comfortable with where we were at. But then now that we know exactly where he's coming out and how consistent he is on that trail, we know that we need to be over there on that side for just, to be 100% bulletproof, because we've talked like this before, Cody. You're only going to get 1 or 2 cracks at him early, and that's going to be about it, we think.
Yeah, I mean, this is an old deer. He actually went downhill from last year, I think.
Yeah,
he has a really strong left side, really heavy 5 with the split or kicker going off his G2 and split brows, and his right side is just a 8-point side. It's just not. It lost a lot. It used to be a 5x5, really good brows, tall. And he lost quite a bit. But you could tell by his age, he has a scar on his left butt cheek, and it's pretty big. It's like palm size, and that's a trait that I picked up on him on trail cam, and in the summertime. And then now sometimes all I get, because the way that trail is angled, sometimes all I get is that ass cheek shot. But he's got that scar, and I'm like, okay, it's him. I know, because no one else has got a palm size, scratch on his butt cheek out there walking around. But
probably when he was a mid 160, he reached back there and had a bug bite or something and got that scar.
Yeah, I don't know. He probably got hit by a car, and that's why he probably got hit by a car, and that's why his opposite side is so weak.
Probably.
We've seen that multiple times where they get injured on one side, the opposite side's the weak link. But I mean, if both sides were like that, he'd be a mid 160s deer. I think he's really, really heavy. I love how dark chocolate he is. He's super dark still. So, and he's daylight every day.
Yeah.
And the way, something that you didn't mention is the way that this bed is set up, how we're going to access. It's damn near bulletproof to get into, because he's in a low spot. He's worried about the people that are coming in from the north more than the people that are looping around to the south and kind of crescent mooning in on him. So it's kind of a perfect setup to go in there and make it happen. just have to go slow and make sure you don't make any noise, or hopefully you got kind of like tonight where it's kind of a little windy, and cool. That'd be the kind of the best scenario. But I mean, he was there in daylight on 90-degree days. So, I mean, that's how close he's bedding. And that camera's probably only 75 yards from that bed. So you're going to be setting up 80 yards, 70 yards from him where he's bedding at. But yeah, that's our number one go-to buck. We had a really consistent, and I still think that scrape early is going to be money on the private.
On the high side? That's
good.
By the evergreens?
Yeah, that's going to be where the plot is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we had he was daylight there in the morning 2 days ago, Squiggles. So we got another buck called Squiggles. I'm going to have to see that deer in person to know if I'm going to plug him or not. He just kind of looks thin.
He does look a little thin.
And I'm not against shooting a smaller scoring deer. It's just got to if I'm in there and I'm jacked up, I'm going to shoot him, but I'm just going to have to see if I'm jacked up or not. More than likely that early, I'll be super jacked up. And,
yeah.
And I mean, if we could go, you drop Pickles and then we get a cold front and I go in there on that scrape, like I did on Sunshine Day, and drop him on the 15th, we both got a buck down. It's going to be hard not to make that happen. And then we're going into the rut, like, we're shooting a mega, we're shooting, but that's number two buck that has been incredibly consistent all the way through Velvet. I think I probably got 25 pictures in his folder, and that's like just single shots of the time he showed up on different cams. Been daylight on multiple different cams, and consistent on that scrape. There for a while, he was there like 5-6 days in the evening. And what was funny is we were going to change our access up to that stand. And that's what running these mobile cams get you, is you want to change your access. So you're like, hey, I'm going to come in on the north side now, and I'm not going to bump anything, where these bucks have been bedding on the south and this buck's bedding on the north now. So if we would have changed our access and not known that buck was coming from the north off that cam, we would have bumped him going in to check that cam.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about changing the access, literally right before you said that, because I was just thinking about the pictures, and I was like, yeah, he's coming from the north a lot, and if we go in there and hunt in the morning, he's going to be, we're going to be staring at each other in the face 10 feet away. Yeah. So I was wondering. Almost
in the morning, he's coming. He seems to come from the south more, like he's going up to the north to bed. So it's connecting the dots. And then in the evening, he's coming from the north to south, always. So if you see the pictures in the morning, he's almost always facing north. Or he comes in from the west and comes up there and hits that scrape. Even at nighttime, he does that. So to me, that says he's bedding north somewhere, looping around, but he hasn't been on the north cam. So what I'm thinking about, I want to talk to you about, is I got that scrape stick, either putting a scrape on that access road that we normally drive in on, or putting a scrape up like the bottom of the food plot area or something, to see if we can get him there at a certain time frame to really narrow him down. We got a really good idea. I feel like he's going to be one of those deer that's pretty killable.
I feel like he's going to be just like Sunshine.
Yeah, so do I. And Sunshine like to bet on that south side, but we have, that's one thing, we have no cams in there now.
Right.
But we haven't been in there. So we know that is a buck bedding area. So one cold front, you throw a set in that, it could be magic. So
I just know if we go out there and hunt, we're going to probably see that deer.
Yeah, I think that would be our best bet. He's just been on all the cams on most of the farm on the south side, been consistently. So that's two bucks that I feel really confident. Pickles, I feel like incredibly confident that you're going to be able to go in there and smash that deer. The way it's set up, if he continues to do that. But I'm literally looking at a 10-foot gap. So even if he's there sporadically or nothing, and you got that northwest wind, you got to go try him, because he could be on the backside of there. he could be looping around a different way, but we know he's been in there for so long. You know, even if he does change, you got to throw a couple in. And I know you're not supposed to hunt in the morning in October, but if you had the right circumstances, you went in there Friday after work, opening day, and tried him, and then that Saturday morning it was going to be cold and you had the right chance again, I'd go in there and hunt him again because it's public and you're only going to get so many hunts before that deer gets bumped out of there because he's not very far from the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's going to be someone go through there. But like you said, you're only going to get 1 or 2 hunts at him. So if you see Pickles in the evening and the stuff doesn't connect and you can make a move on him, I wouldn't go in there in the morning and try it. But if you don't see him that evening and you felt like you got out of there good, because that's going to be the challenge is if you don't see him, you know he's coming past you more than likely.
Right.
So getting out of there it's going to be a challenge. That's why I'm thinking leave your stuff, roll out, come back and try to get him in the morning because we've had him there like 4 or 5 mornings way into daylight.
Yeah.
So if you got a colder morning like it's supposed to be, might just leave everything, jet out of there, and then come back. And that would be the safer bet than tearing everything down right next to his bed.
Yeah, you'd be way quieter. You could, be more limber walking out. You could literally just squeak right out of there. Leave the bow. Leave everything.
Yeah, I feel like if you bump that deer off the field going in the morning, okay, that's bad, but it's better than bumping him 60 yards from his bed.
Yeah.
In evening, getting down with metal, clean, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a dude's walking in on the field. Oh, I got bumped off of there. That could be a guy going fishing. Could be a guy scouting.
I'm 6 years old. I've seen it before. But I like this little timber spot as my bed, and I'm here and I'm comfortable.
But getting bumped 60 yards from your bed, I don't think that's the
not
best.
cool.
So if he doesn't show up, then exiting there, you're going to have to make a plan on walking through that corn probably when you exit or something. Because if he goes out north and you don't get him, you're going to have to loop around south and go walk up the road or something, try to stay away from him as far as you can and maybe give him a pretty good chance to get out of those beans because he doesn't come back in there.
He's coming in.
He doesn't exit for a while. And then,
he's coming in some way.
He's coming back in there. I think I've had him a couple of times where he came back in there maybe like 2 hours after we went out. So you got a pretty good gap in there, give him some time, loop out. That's stuff you got to think about when you got a buck this early. It only takes a couple times and you're smoked. Unlike Pickles, where he's there hitting a scrape and going back north. If you don't get a shot of that deer, he's way away from you access to south. But with Squiggles, but with Pickles, you don't really know what he's doing after.
No, because it's so wide open. He's out in the field.
Leaving there.
Yeah,
he's out in the field.
I was thinking, probably Friday night's hunt if, you don't get a crack at him at 7:04 like he's been showing up here. It's going to be a long sit in the dark, just letting him feed out, and get away. And then that was my plan is just go kind of like where that deer was down there bedded coughing, get out there and then get out of the timber on the south end and probably
getting that low spot of that field and walk out that low spot through the beans and then getting that corn and just walk in the corn, You got to go 300 yards through the corn in the dark to get to the road, but just stay away from him because you should be able to get a couple cracks at him if you don't bump him.
Right.
And that's why I think, if you don't see him and he's not there,
then he's not there.
Feel comfortable. Then maybe take your stuff down. You have to make that decision. But if you're going to plan on hunting that next morning, I might throw another set at him. But that's 2 bucks that I feel really good about. The third spot, the kill in October, I'm thinking we had some intel the second week of October. There was a really good 10-pointer that was hitting in the very south side of the public, the very back side of the public. We got mobile cams running back there. We already got the short time 10 back. A lot of deer that we had that time of year, that 10th, 15th. Remember, they were there, and then season came and they were gone. Well, those deer are going to be there, So I'm really banking on that ridge with all that sign and stuff, that 15th to 25th-ish range in there. I feel really confident about getting a crack at a deer during that time frame. As for the new lease that we were talking about, we need to pull some more cams out there, but I'm not confident in that piece. We are going to kind of make a hoorah set, like I want to call it, down in the bottom, just because there's a bunch of oak trees down there. Neighbor's got a clover field, food plot. It's on the way to ag. We want to get a camera down there anyways. We want to pull the cards and kind of make a game plan. So I was thinking maybe Sunday, if I'm back, crushing down in that creek bottom and making a set in that walnut tree, and then making a scrape down there, hanging a cam, pulling the other cams, get it all set up in the dark, basically, and then roll out. That was my plan, because I feel like there's a good chance to catch something in those oaks, going and working to that cornfield or that bean field or the clover field. A lot of options there. And it'd be a fresh set in a brand new spot that we have nothing to know about.
Yeah.
But going off of last year's intel, there was a lot of scrapes down there, a lot of buckside down there. So that would be probably like our number 3 set that first weekend. Is I'm thinking go down there and try to put a set in that bottom. If there's nothing else that's on fire,
Right.
But, the plot, it seems like it's so big now. I don't know if it needs a frost to get tenderized again or not, but there's not very much stuff eating in that plot now. So
where do we have? Or in the plot by the scrape tree, or the bean plot?
Yeah,
the plot by the scrape tree.
The plot by the scrape tree. We don't have any intel on the plot on the bean plot.
I was going to ask you that. I know you went out there and moved a couple cameras. I was just going to ask kind of on that part of Boonertown where we got. I seen you on pictures you sent, like it says the middle draw. Where's that cam at? Is that the north pinch? North pinch.
Yeah, north. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I said I got that scrape stick. I don't know whether to move it at the bottom of the plot or up there in the corner on the cedars, or something, just to try to get a little bit of intel on the bucks that are there, how they're using that property. But the plot on the south was pretty nipped. There's been some stuff eating on it. So I think maybe throwing that scrape stick out in like one of the open spots in the beans.
Yeah. Or if we
shootable from that tree.
If we just put it on that far edge, that southwest corner edge or something.
Yeah, because we could shoot it from the tree that we cut out.
Yeah. And
then that's set up good for a south wind, something early maybe. But we don't really have any intel. But if you guys have noticed with us talking, we're running these mobile cams, so we're not going in anywhere. I got a bush on the food plot cam on private. I get 200 blanks a day, but the deer are consistently there in daylight pretty frequently. So I'm not going in there and cutting down one bush that would save me. I'm running unlimited on it. So
yeah,
it's literally just batteries at this point.
Batteries and clear
an SD card. Solid. Yeah, clear the SD card. But I mean, it's solid. So I'm not risking going in there and knocking that bush. And it's something that grew up after we hung the camera there that's involved with the plot. So it's not like something we could have prevented. It's just something that is there. And I'm like, okay, first cold snap, it's going to die. Or the first hunt is going to be very satisfying just to swat that sucker,
I would say it's just like it's taking pictures of deer when it's supposed to be taking pictures of deer, just like the rest of my hunting shit. If it's working, it's probably going to get left alone. Like I ain't going to change it.
I'm just going to delete 200 blanks a day off this damn green bush. It just, it's a big leafy bush. It's just blowing around, and you can see it. It gets the blanks. And then it won't be in there, and then there it is. You're like,
right on the edge,
smoking, right on the right side. Just, but we're not going in there and ruining that spot over, trying to have stuff perfect. Like there comes a point where we have learned that putting so much pressure on your ground isn't worth having the perfect setup, like the perfect food plot or the perfect tree stand set up, or everything's money, or you got a mowed access trail, or you can kill without that. The main thing is do not pressure the shit. Do not pressure your deer out of there, because in 8 days, you're going to want to go in there anyways and try to kill something. But if you've been in there 5-6 times trying to get your food plot right, or you're spraying weed killer in front of your cams, or you're freshening your scrapes, and you're in there day after day after day, they're not going to be there. They might be there, but they're not going to be in daylight like they are now. The reason they're in daylight is because we ain't been there in a month. You know, that's why Pickles is daylight, because the first time that someone goes in there and bumps him, he is not going to daylight every day in the same spot. Big bucks do not do that. You know,
and last
you
year,
just got to get lucky. It's more than luck. You got to find an area where you know a big buck's going to be, and then you got to pick the right tree to get him every day. Like, it's just, you got to be like, all right, if I was a deer, this is the trail I would use. Here's all the rubs coming out, the scrapes. This is a trail that the main using. Boom. And then sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. You know, 90% of the time we're wrong.
It's not like he's coming up there to hit that scrape, and that's why he's there. He's there because that's his trail.
Yeah, he's real confident.
Right. He's like, I've been here.
I mean, I feel like once he's that far north, he's committed to go to that field.
Oh, yeah.
He can see all the way to that field.
Yeah, he's made the decision.
He knows there's
40
no
yards
danger.
ago. No.
Yeah, he made the decision to go right or left there. And I kind of wish we had that south cam closer, like right on that right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right where it starts to bend back north.
Yeah, right where they get pinched from that water, and they got to go right, or they got to go left.
Yeah, that would be.
You move that sucker up there, you know. Okay, he went right. I need to come in from the south and loop in. Okay, he went north, because he's got a good option either way right there. So, you don't nail it every time. And I've been thinking about that. I'm like, damn, if that was, I even thought about, I was talking to my wife a couple days ago, man, I had to wait until he exits the north, and then I go in there at night and move this thing up. But I'm like, it's too close to season. You're going to get your ground scent in there. Shit's going to move on him. Like, he does not care about this camera at all. Does not look at it. Does not do nothing. I'm like, I'm not touching anything.
Even when he's coming in the mornings, he is not even
directly
at
it. He just gives no shit.
Cruising.
Like nothing. So I'm not going to go in there and mess him up at all. So we talked about early season. We talked about Pickles. We got early. We talked about Squiggles. We got early. We got Chips and Dip. He's on the edge. We might get him on a cold front. We know he's bedding somewhere remotely close. Might be one of those, kind of light rattle morning cold front kind of deals. Maybe work. I don't know. I'd like to kill that deer. Super cool. A lot going on. But I just want to say, oh, here comes Chips and Dip. Like, it's going to be awesome. But
like a Mexican restaurant, bro?
Yeah. I'm excited about he's going to be like my appetizer, and then I'm going to kill a bigger buck later on in the year.
Right,
so he's like,
okay.
Yeah. I'm going to kill the cheese quesadilla in November, Got to get Chips and Dip out of the way first,
We need to find this cheese quesadilla first.
I need to, I'm hoping for just a Magnum. I'm calling Burrito Supreme. Just smash him out. But, so, and then kind of in the same spot where Pickles is, I'm really excited about that 20th of October timeframe in there. I mean, we had a ton of bucks daylight there, and we're just using that past intel now, and we're running mobile cams there. So when those bucks show up, I feel like, I was looking at those pictures, I feel like half of those bucks that went in there probably bedded and then went out the north. The ones that were there like 9:30 in the morning on the south.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they went right up in there and bedded, and then went right out, hit that sign on the north, and went right out the same way Pickles did. And we missed all that. So if you get something coming in on the south, you're going to be like, damn, I need to be in there, on the north. At least maybe I can rattle at this deer, or I can get a sighting at him and kind of piece out how he's coming out. If he's going in there, really not a lot to bed north of there unless he cuts around.
No, yeah.
The lake.
And the way I feel like that the deer travel is, he just come from that way and he's like already been there, already seen that. I'm going to keep moving onward, So I feel like getting on the north and getting in front of them is the thing to do.
But I feel like they went right in there embedded and probably chilled for the day and then looped back out and went right out that way. So I'm excited to see, use that past intel on that and make a plan. One thing that we need to do in those areas, we need to freshen up those mock scrapes when we do go in there and hunt. That's something that we like to do. And I really think that adds to your success. If you do have a camera, a lot of people pee in them. A lot of people we had good success with Gravedigger.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bucks hitting it off that. We've had good success with peeing in them, but just literally roughing up that dirt is enough to get them deer kind of to hit that. And then once you get something hitting it, even if it's a fork and horn, then stuff just continues to keep it open, and the spot on the north or the West Cedars on Public where I drove and flattened all that grass out because I was getting blanks.
On Boonertown, you mean?
On the mobile cam? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Boonertown?
Yeah.
That bush that was right there that I couldn't run over with the truck.
Yep.
They put a scrape on that.
Really?
It's all tore up, ground scrape there.
They're not hitting
And
the
it's
one
just like a
on the
little bush.
tree that the camera's
They're
on?
not hitting the one on the tree. They're
So
hitting
that's
the one
good.
out there.
That's good.
But just because I flattened that grass in that area, that was enough for them to.
They're like, shit, I can get a scrape here. Yeah.
I'm going to get a scrape over here, and it's kind of like a little open spot where they like hanging out now.
And
it's weird,
And just like Cody said, a small 6-pointer has carried this scrape in this camera in this location all summer long. It's kept it up and open and kept other deer coming there. So now so that's why you were out there and moved that grass, is because that buck was still hitting that. And now look, it's got into a better spot just off of this 6-pointer, just keeping it alive.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need a giant hitting these scrapes all the time, but if you can go out there and freshen it up and pique the interest of that young deer or some does, go over there, get that scent, then man, here comes Big Boy. Now he's hitting it. And now you're like, okay, he's still there. He's still there. That's 90% of the battle is where is this deer still in the area? Then you can game plan off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going in there blind, it's hard to do. But we're going to really kind of, when we hunt that piece, if we hunt it on the south and, it's midday, I feel like we need to cruise up there and scout that north and make sure the shit isn't getting crazy. Because if the shit's getting crazy, you might need to alter that camera to the south a little bit to pick up any sign where Pickles is at.
Okay.
So if you go in there and hunt the south, I feel like you need to scout kind of the north and just say, okay, these scrapes are really opening up. I need to move this cam more in and get more intel.
Yeah. How far would you go past them scrapes scouting?
I wouldn't go any further than that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna.
You got to that sign. Once you got to that sign last year where those, a bunch of tree rubs and stuff right there, I wouldn't go much further than that. But kind of best case scenario would be take some zip ties with you and zip tie a tree branch on that old scrape that was there that lost its limb and try to revive that. I just zip tie one straight down from the one that's like head high.
Yeah. And
try to get it, waist high, nipple high, and try to get something hitting that scrape again. And maybe, if we got some code blue or you can pee in it or something just to freshen it up and get it going again. Because it'd be really nice to know that even if he is hitting that scrape, he didn't walk behind that camera. Like if the scrape's there, I feel like he's going to go and hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that'd be nice. But
as much as he's hunkered down in there, he is claiming that as his spot,
But I've never been, there's only one other time I've been confident that I was going to kill early, and that was Homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there in the morning and messed that up. So I've never been this confident on this many bucks this early, but it comes back. We just like the mobile cams they change everything. when you have no pressure on everything and you know exactly what's going on. You might not know, like you might be missing deer, but if you're getting a deer and it's consistent, like imagine if Pickles was in there, consistent, and you didn't have a mobile cam in there, even if you had a regular cam, and you're like, wow, I'm feeling really good about the plot. And then you go in there October 10th and pull that cam, and he was been daylight the last 25 days.
Yeah.
And you had no idea. It's just that MRI, that most recent information.
Or just like we were talking about, you go in there and pull that cam, and he is bedded there, and now you bumped him 6 yards from his bed, just like we were saying, something that we're trying to avoid. He's been coming out at 7:18, and you're like, shit, I got off work late. I'm going to roll out here and snag this cam and scout this area. And then you bump him because you have no idea what's going on. I mean, how many times have you done that in your past where you're like, it's kind of close to the edge. I'm just going to grab this on the way home. And then boom, you bump him and you get home. You're like, oh, dude, this has been lights out, and you've missed it. You've just like last year, we had those cams in there and you missed all of it. And now you just boogered him up a little bit.
Yeah. You're a week behind the game with the regular cam. With a mobile cam, you're in the game all the time, so super valuable to have out there. And when you have as many as we do, just the amount of time that it saves pulling cams, once you get the right batteries in them and they're working good, don't touch them. Just let them rip, Yeah. But, and then of course that late October, like I said, I'm confident we'll have a buck down in October this year, which is something that we've been struggling with the last few years. So if stuff keeps going, should be pretty good. But that late October comes around, we know exactly where we need to be. Should be real solid. Back on that ridge. The new piece, have no idea about it.
No idea.
The new lease. Ass loads of does there. So when that first doe comes in, I mean, there's shooter bucks there. I mean, they're just not consistent.
No, yeah.
So, and like most people would be pretty jacked up with the deer that we got over there. But when you got two solid bucks that are so consistent, you're pretty much like, man, that piece is kind of trash right now compared to what I got going on over here. Like
3 years ago, we'd have probably been like, yeah, man, this place is nice. But right now, it's just like when just like you said, consistent and in daylight, shooting hours, and we're 8 days away. Like, I mean, it's what do you want?
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and saying all this shit can change in a minute. We were just saying tonight, someone goes in there scouting and bumps that deer on this public land, good chance he might come in there again because, okay, it worked. This spot worked for me. I seen him come in. I got away. Or, but maybe once is all it's going to take. You never know. But there's going to be something in that bed. That's one of we run into beds, I don't know how many we see in a year, and there's only a few that I'm like, oh, this is perfect. There's like, and that just sets up to where you're like, okay, there's something using this bed. Because you just got to think about you. Like, would you be there? 100% I'd be there. There's no way. I got to commit up that little ridge. And if I commit up that little ridge, it's over.
Yeah. Same.
That's why, like, if you had a straight north with a light wind, be a risky move because your thermals are going to be pulling right towards that water. So you need something west and steady.
Right.
To get you away.
100% away.
But he's feeling north. I'm good. I'm used to people walking this trail to the north of me. Most of the people are on the very north side up here doing their thing, duck hunting, whatever they're doing up there. I'm cool with that. But no one's coming in from the, southwest. There's no reason for a person to be down there. So I think that's going to be textbook. And it also is nice that he's been there the last 10 days in daylight. I mean, that helps a lot too. Like I said, that really boosts your confidence. When I'm like, is he going to be here? And then 7:08, boom, 7:04, boom, 7:02. I'm like, this thing is 658. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah,
You should be in that stand from 650 to 710. You should be on eggshells, like with your bow, like
just standing, bro. Cody texted me yesterday. He's like, is he gonna show? So this is going for day 9 in a row of shooting hours. Is he gonna show? And I was like, yes, and he did. And then tonight was a no-show. But he just walked behind the cam.
Yeah.
Just walked behind the cam. He's still there.
Yeah. Just walked behind.
I have no idea.
But he could definitely change. But one thing we got going, no acorns on that property. So that helps out a lot. We know he ain't going to switch from that. No soft mass, no fruit trees on that property. We know he ain't going to do a big switch from that. No food plots on that property. We know he ain't going to do any real switch to a green food source or anything like that. The ag is north of him. The beans are already brown.
Yep.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is falling into place
for him to stay.
We know bucks like to be in there. The only thing that'll bump it that would happen if someone went in there scouting, you know, oh crap, it's the weekend before season. I'm gonna go run through this piece and check it out. And that deer gets bumped. That's the only thing that's gonna change what that deer's doing. So, but we're excited for October. If you can't tell, we hope you guys are too. Most of the time we're not this excited for October. We're kind of like, we're excited to get out hunting, but we're just kind of going through the motions to wait to get to late October, you know?
Yeah, I would say we're not as like amped up to get on a buck like we are right now. Because right now, I mean, best case scenario that we got, and usually it's
if we could hunt in September 15th, if we could been hunting since like Missouri opener, or September 1st, we'd have 2 or 3 dead bucks right now. Like, that would be consistently there. Like, you know, that we know where they're bedding and we know where they're feeding. You know, like they say, you know where they're bedding, you know where they're feeding. There should be a dead deer. Like, and in this case, in Squiggles and Pickles' case, I know where you're going feeding and hitting scrapes, and I know where you're bedding. So you're pretty much dead if you go there, because I know how to not bump you. You know, that's the only thing. I know how to get in there and not mess you up. So Pickles is going to be a hang and hunt kind of scenario, so you're going to have that challenge. While Squiggles is, we got a preset stand on private with perfect access. Move the stand back. He's hitting a scrape broadside about 18 yards. You know, Pickles is going to be sub 15, probably 20-15. So you're going to have the challenge of getting set up on him, shooting lanes. The private's mint. Shooting lanes are there. Stands there. Access is good. That corn on the private is green as hell still. That's going to be there forever.
Good.
Yeah, it's going to be there forever. Good. So that should help too. Yeah. I seen that today. I'm like, that stuff is green still, and everything else is pretty much brown. He got it in. He got it in super late. So everything was like 6 foot tall. And I was like, that's the worst looking corn. But it's like knee high, you know? It's terrible.
It was almost 4th of July and it was barely knee high.
Yeah. So everything else is like head high damn near already, and it's just out there looking trashy. I'm like, it's looking terrible, but feeling really good. Hopefully you guys can, you know, take something from this and try to apply it. Main thing is you still got time. You know, if your season opens October 1st, try to get on a buck. Start thinking about that past intel where you've got trail cam pictures or you've seen deer or anything like that to try to make a plan. And we have enough property now that not having an excuse to have a bullshit hunt shouldn't happen. Like, every hunt should have meaning. You know, that's something that we're trying to do. Like, if I hunt, I'm going to be going in and trying to kill short tine 10, trying to kill Pickles, or trying to kill Squiggles or chips and dip. Like, that's it. You know, I'm not going to go in. I'm just going to hunt this draw over here to see what's there. And if I do that, I'm going to go in scouting and, you know, try to set up in the best case scenario. But we got enough. Like I said, we still got to pull all the north cams on the private. So what do we got? 5 out there. So yeah. We got the south cedars, the north cedars.
Oh yeah.
The south edge.
Yep.
The cedars by the house and the draw in the back where the other stand is, and then the other draw and the backpack. So yeah, 5 or 6 out there.
Right.
So could be a lot of intel on there. That's something we got to decide. Like, nothing's really daylight there we know of. Should we go in there and rip one good trail cam pool? And there might be something lights out. Like if that split 2 bucks lights out in the Cedars, you wouldn't want to miss that.
I know.
What I mean?
I know.
So something you got to think about, but you only get so many hunts to pick where you want to go.
Yeah. And like, I mean, especially with everything we got going on, like we only got so many days to hunt. They're already numbered and we just don't know what the number is. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't probably go hunt every other Tuesday. Like that's probably not going to happen. You know, we're just going to be straight up sending it full on the weekend as much as we can. And shit comes up on the weekends. Like I know Saturday of opening weekend, like I ain't going to be out there. I'm sure one other bullshit Saturday night in October.
I got birthday parties opening day. Like I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
your kid only gets 1/6 birthday. I knocked out both of them in the same day.
Right. Double up.
Yeah. I doubled up on I got the 1st and the 10th or the 4th. So I'm like the 1st and the 4th. So I'm like, all right, let's just combine these.
Yeah.
Only wasting one weekend. And, the wife's like, well, let's do a little one last trip before winter starts. And it happened to fall on the weekend that bow season started. And it happened to be the best daylight buck we've ever had in our life. I'm like, every night I'm like, Buck was there, telling her, like Pickles was there.
Yeah.
She was like, well, you could take off work and go that morning. I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do it. I gotta wait.
It ain't AM, babe. It's PM.
Yeah. He's there
PM.
AM sometimes, but he's there PM every day. So I gotta save it. But like I said, we're super jacked, man. Just ready to get out there and rip.
I know. Tired of talking about it and ready to do something. I guess before we wrap this up, we'll just kind of lead into what we got coming down the chute. This is just kind of updating you guys on what we got going on. We haven't done this for months of just Cody and I talking about what we got going on, especially with season right around the corner. And then next week, we're going to release an episode talking about what we got coming up for season and some episodes that we had been working on all year. And we're very excited for that. And the Last Breath guys and Grant were a huge part of helping that happen for us. And we're excited to bring it to you guys. We got to do some finishing touches on it. But other than that, it is ready to go. And hopefully you guys enjoy it because it's something kind of out there off the left wall. So
yeah, I mean, we decided we talk about it all the time. We both got kids. We're both husbands. We're both working a bunch. We're trying to utilize our free time as efficiently as possible to do what we love. We love podcasting, but we're hunters before podcasters. So we came up with a way to bring you very, very good content, I believe, with it being pre-recorded months in advance. But we're talking about a topic that can be covered any time of the year. So, but we're going to come in and update you guys on what we got going. And of course, if we kill, you guys are going to get to hear the story and stuff like that. But when it's November 9th, we don't want to be trying to round up a guest because we got a Wednesday coming up and we want to get an episode out for you guys. We haven't missed an episode. We missed one in four years, you know what I mean? So we want to bring the content to you. And this is the most effective way to bring you high quality content when you guys want high quality deer content. When it's in deer season and you guys want the bangers after bangers after bangers, it's hard to line those guys up. And you'll see it during season on podcasts. They start doing a lot of podcasts about themselves. They start doing maybe one of their hunting buddies. He was successful. They're not getting that high quality content on their show because these guys are hunting. They do not want to be recording podcasts. They got too much stuff going on, just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. Everyone's busy. And then you throw hunting season on top of it and it just gets radical
Smoke.
skedaddle out there, you know?
That's how your truck looks like it got turned upside down.
Yeah, literally.
I ain't got time for this shit.
You got plans, and then deer season hits and shit. You're good for about 2 days, and then shit is you got 2 hunts organized, and then your shit is wrecked.
or 1 kill, like that's it.
Yeah, one kill, one good buck kill. Shit's wrecked. It took you 3 days to get your shit back together. You'd be like, I lost half my shit, and I can't find anything, but I got a buck. That's good.
Right.
So hopefully, I mean, I just couldn't imagine dragging one out October 1, like just rocking. I'd be like, God, this is sweet. And then, 5 days later, smoke another one. Like, that'd be off the chain. So, but
be a lot of filming.
Like always, man, we love you guys. Next episode, we will finally bringing you what this series is about, what we've been working on. I really believe that people are going to get a lot of value from it and really enjoy it. Like I said, I don't think it's ever been done, even really talked about like one episode. I've never seen that even done on like one random episode on a show. So we're always trying to think. Every year we do something different in season. We did the rutcation every day last year. We started the Legend of the Woods. We're always trying to bring you guys the most valuable content and trying to start something new. The download numbers have been incredible. Can't thank you enough for that. Get just me and you on here talking, getting the most downloads we ever have. So pretty incredible. The gear's starting to really come in, fine tuning. Bow's shooting good. Yes. The weather's here. Everything's lining up to really, really either rock or flop, one or the other. It's time to nut up or shut up right now.
Yes, it is.
So pretty much, when you guys hear us next week, it's go time.
Yeah,
it's here. So all right, guys, we love you. Appreciate everything you do. Keep hitting that play button. If you feel like leaving us a review, we'd love that too. Try to leave a legacy. Always try to do the right thing. And Whitetail Legacy is out.